Hello everyone, can you hear me? I am Sennight and I will be there tonight with the wonderful Lady Deme at my side, ready to take care of commentating this match. Czaj versus Reven, it's gonna be a good one.
Absolutely. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, Azure Dreams is a PlayStation 1 roguelike mystery dungeon style game with 40 randomized floors of various monsters, all of which will kill the unwary runner very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Azure Dreams is a roguelike game. Oh, I think we have a little bit of a problem on the cropping side, on Reven's side.
Yeah, looks like there is one. There wasn't one earlier. Let us see what we can do about that.
Alright, I'll try
In the meanwhile, explain the rule set.
Alright, so Azure Dreams is a roguelike RPG. You climb a tower, you try to survive. It's very much like Rogue, but it's also a very difficult and dangerous game. It's made to be played. Yeah, there's 40 floors in tower, but you're meant to do a feud and go back to town, come back later, and get a little bit higher. Obviously, none of that today. We just try to climb 1 to 40 as fast as we can. Obviously, in this game, survival is extremely important because you don't want to die. It's climb as high as you can in 1 hour. But speed is also important because we will break ties if both player dies on the same floor because that floor was really rough. Break that tie by who got there first. And also, obviously, if one of them clears and reach floor 40, then the opponent cannot do better, right? So as long as you get to 40 first, you win as well. And these are two very good, very experienced runners. Climbing to 40 is a possibility, but obviously we are always under the stress of the tower. We might actually not get to reach there. We started with a Wind Ifrit as a monster. Very tanky, decently strong. Noah Sled is a nice spell to have. It's a mixer match. And we have a Polumpa has a...
Shame. We're using the Ifrit.
Absolutely.
The Ifrit is being used.
Yeah, I could see the possibility of a fusion just to pass the heal onto that Ifrit, but I would be very surprised, actually, Dio heal. I'm not a big fan of having a heal spell on my pet, even though that could be very useful. I dislike the fact that it might actually not do what you ask it to heal you instead and causing death once in a while. And already Reven changing the Ifrit into Czaj, and he calls himself goodbye. So goodbye, Czaj. There is a very nice little friendly rivalry between these two guys. They're very close friends, and they're actually both the organizers of this tournament. So yeah, one of them is actually going to be kicked out today, sadly, but yeah, it's going to be a match, a very good match, I can tell you right now.
Okay. Hey, thank you for K, Matt. I think it should be... The cropping should be adjusted from here.
Okay. I guess there's just a small delay. But thank you very much, Deme. So they're going to be on floor 1 to 5, and during that time, they will probably try to scout for items. To be honest, having a wind monster this early is kind of not the element you want to have. But the monsters on the first 5 floors are so easy that unless something bad happens,
well, that could have been one of those things.
Yes.
Over on Czaj's side, hitting that bomb traps. Bomb traps are fire elemental. Fire beats wind. Wind beats water. Water beats fire. There's going to be a lot more water monsters in a few floors, but at the moment... Peculiar that fixing it did not fix it, but I guess we'll figure something out.
Alright.
But at the moment, most of the enemies here, except for the Polumpas, are going to be wind or fire. And so, wind isn't great.
Yeah,
and this is also
the
point where both players and monsters are kind of frailest, but also the one stretch of game where the game expects you to be there on your first trip. After this point, it's gonna be different. After floor 5 or so is when you hit the loop Sandknight was talking about. The game expects you to go home, come back, mech, get stronger, etc. But that's assuming you have a fire monster, and so while the water floors do still have some inherently tougher monsters, the wind mixture magic might not go amiss at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to explore generally 69, but having a wind monster will help you to get through that to some extent. The big difference here is that even when I have a wind monster, I'm not the greatest fan of exploring too much of 6 to 9. I will still have to tank U-boats, and they'll still get their first hit on me. But the worst part is, in my opinion, is that monsters from 6 to 9 do not give enough extra experience from monster 1 to 5 to warrant losing time there. And I don't want to build my inventory from 6 to 9. I want it as early as I can, good equipment and stuff like that. So even when I have a monster that can actually wreck up 6 to 9, I'll just be happy having it because obviously I might not find the elevator right away. But I probably wouldn't overstay my welcome. Now, obviously that's just a personal way of seeing things. But that's
it makes a lot of sense. Particularly when we start talking about from 7, we're going to start seeing U-boats. Oh, lettuce shield on Reven's side. That is nice. But anyway, once we start getting...
Oh, 17 damage!
That's not good.
Yeah, it really is.
Once we start getting U-boats up there... Oh! Yep. That's not a great situation for Chai, though I think an experienced runner at this point can be expected to do commando pretty alright, and certainly he's likely to go much faster because fights take time, and the number of things he can fight has now just dropped significantly.
Yeah. And Chai is a great player with or without a pet, and I'm not just saying that because he's the one that got me out of tournament, but obviously, he knows his stuff. He'll be able to manage around without that effort. But obviously, there are situations in which even if you have a pet, sometimes Tower is just that unfair and there's just nothing to do. Imagine those situations without even a pet. I mean, I could see Chai die early, but it would take something that's really rough. This guy knows his stuff. But that's going to be a very scary thing moving forward. But like Deme says, and that's really important, we tend to play much faster as soon as we don't have a pet. And that will be something really relevant. If you play Commando, like Chai is doing right now, you want at least to gain a floor advantage from that, from fighting less. If you are lower level on the same floor as your opponent and Commando, then you know you're not in the right place or in the perfect place. So at least if it's not an advantage realistically, at least milk that as much as you can so you can get one thing going for you. Chai building his inventory. Oh, actually the overlay is now fixed. Thank you very much, Deme.
That one was not me?
Oh.
My efforts were a little bit earlier. I instead just clicked the ping for help button. So thank you, folks at SpeedGaming, for addressing that.
Yeah, thank you so much for the phantom save. I don't know how to say, but yeah, coming in from nowhere, love it. Oh, and lose! Ifrit on Reven sides. There we go.
Okay, this is now pretty close up. This is now pretty close in terms of circumstances, which means that Chai is now in a pretty great position.
Yeah, exactly.
And in that he is now significantly ahead, and they're both more or less equally vulnerable here.
Yeah, exactly. The one advantage I would like to see, or that I think there is on Reven's side, is he's got a leather shield, which we don't have on Chai's side. But the two shields I absolutely adore when I play Commando is a mixture of leather and ice. As long as they're not cursed and I can juggle them, These are definitely my two favorite shields. And live is not bad either. It'll outrun, like it will be not good enough very soon. But right now it's doing wonders, believe me. But the ice shield, if it's not cursed and you're not stuck with it, and the leather shield, even if it's cursed later on, that's going to be very, very big. So they have good shields.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. Their inventory is pretty similar other than that. So can't wait to see who's going to use it the best. But yeah, Chai is going to be on floor 10 first. And now the monster discrepancies is not even a thing anymore.
Chai using some really good pickup strats to more or less keep from getting sandwiched and throw away some problems. If a monster hits an obstacle when walking along, it's essentially procedurally defined route.
Yeah.
It will turn around. It'll go the other way.
Yeah.
And that can help you a lot.
Yeah. Very well played from Chai. I was going to say, because of those two Dreamins that were coming in, and that Spells Ball, that you really want to see what it is, because obviously when you're Commando, Spell Balls are the thing you want. And the Ice Shield is cursed.
Not your ideal scenario.
Absolutely
they are both
not.
cursed now.
Yeah, that's really a bad thing. So obviously during the fire floors, so 10 and up, that doesn't matter. Those Dreamins are gonna hit somewhat hard, but not hard enough that you can't try a few pickups. Yeah, like that. So it doesn't necessarily matter, but as soon as you're gonna reach those wind floors, you do not want to have that shield still equipped. So a Decur Scroll is gonna be very important. Now, obviously, you still keep this curse status on Ko if you find... Is that Decurse? It is!
Yes, it is!
Let's go!
Problem solved!
I'm sure Chai is very happy to see the Decur scroll on the floor right now.
Reven doing some excellent U-boat dancing. U-boats don't want to share a tile with you and want to get the first hit. So you can, as Reven did there, manipulate them by kind of walking into them in the way you want them to get out of the way of.
Yeah, U-boats do respect social distancing. Code doesn't, so obviously very important to abuse that as much as you can and force it to actually not attack. We have a little bit of a frog trap, very cute moment on Chai's side, but luckily, even though you are stuck in there and you cannot use any items, you can just run away, and as long as you don't get stuck in a pincer, you're fine.
Yeah, and this time it wore off in pretty good time. It could have been worse. But that's more or less always true.
Yes, exactly. I don't
Until
know...
it isn't anymore.
Oh, okay. The Ice Shield is uncursed on both sides, so at least there's that. I would have been really, scared that Reven wouldn't have found the Decur Scroll, but that's a thing that's done on both sides. Oh, the Chaos Trap! Oh, that's not good. Okay, how does he solve this puzzle? Because that Griffin is going to be very scary. Oh! What is he doing? Chai, my friend!
Trying to get the pickup and throw, but
yeah, there we go.
That is the best he could do here. Certainly going to the biggest difference.
And he's taking quite a little bit of damage. Yeah, I was going to say, change that shield, please, because 6 damage from a Dreamin' might be a bit much. And he's unconfused. That's good. Obviously, never a fun to know that you've not wasted, but used a Holy Scroll. You like to keep those for the worst situation possible. But that was a very bad situation. It's just sad to see it go that early. Can't wait to see what Reven's going to do on the next floor when that happens, if it does. But yeah, at least he's found the Holy Scroll.
Could make a slight for RNG could go just the tiniest bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. Could not trigger, he could not step on it, but if it does, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what Reven decides to go with. Right. So we have a
Chai.
Oh, go on.
Probably wishing that the Holy Scroll was still an option because Krakens are mean. That's such a big hit.
Yeah, and now he has to move forward, and he really doesn't want to step on any trap that deals damage because, yeah, there's not coming back from that. Luckily, the wall did take one hit, which was absolutely necessary for Chai to move forward. But yeah, these floors commando right now are really, really, really rough, and it's nice to see Chai is just keeping up. That's good.
Mm-hmm. That gap has closed pretty meaningfully, though Chai does still have a lead, and I wouldn't say is playing necessarily any less safe. It's just that little bit of a difference in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and the big difference, I think, is not in floor count, but in the fact that we know that Chai just got out of two bad situations, which Reven has not gone into yet. Maybe he'll just skip both of them, we don't know, but they are on his path still, and so we won't know if it does happen. It did take some time for Chai to deal with those two situations, and if they do happen to Reven still, I would expect Chai to pick up a bigger lead at that point, but you know, with the future only will tell.
Nothing like having lots of monsters, one of which you cannot pick up right in the elevator room. I'm sure it's everyone's favorite.
Yeah, this monsters doesn't hit too hard. Yeah, tuna fruit changing it into a frog. It doesn't hit too hard, but it is quite tanky, and it does self-heal. And since you're alone with only a sword, you're not gonna out-damage the healing that monsters will give to itself. It'll take an hour and a half just taking care of it. So, obviously, I'm happy to see that Chai took that very seriously. Even though it's not necessarily a big threat to your health, it's a big threat to your time. And take it seriously, move on, use an item, let's go. Noah Sled, very nice.
That's a very handy.
Oh, Chaos Trap on Reven's side. There we are.
Oh, anti-chaos herb.
Wow.
So that just ended up being a very different scenario. Still a bit of a tricky one because we're up in there is that leather shield coming in clutch.
Yes, the leather cartel is quite pleased with this offering. Thank you so very much.
That is quite the monster train.
Yes, absolutely. That was a C-seed here that we are missing, which is super fine. I'm not sure they would have necessarily used it, even though I think they found a wind. Noah Sled. So it's wind. Yeah, actually the CC would have been nice, but yeah.
Niche, but nice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun to when you can afford it, to change a monster's element to something that you can hit effectively. But you know,
and Reven,
you could also not afford it in that scenario when literally all of creation is behind you.
Ooh, that's a rough room as well. I mean, Chai can go north to get out of the room, but okay, he wants the experience point because he was not necessarily in danger. He could have exited north, which is fine. But Garudas are actually a very, very decent amount of experience. And that's something we are getting better as a community to calculate when do I use my resources. Obviously, the simple answer of, well, I'll try to keep my resources for as late as I can all the time is not necessarily bad, but those balls hit stronger when you're higher level. So once in a while, you want to keep them, up to date, and you'll need to kill something. And knowing what to kill and when to get that just big juicy experience point, gain one level or two, and then your other spell balls are going to hit just that much harder and keep yourself up is extremely important. And I noticed that most of our runners are getting much better at that specifically.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what individual tournaments and what individual phases of the community brings, because I think that we have seen a lot of interesting developments in the meta of this game since the community began, which not that long ago.
You are
still, it's
right.
really tremendous just to look back at. By the way, a holy bell was a bit of an easy come, easy go. Go on, Chai's side.
Yes, absolutely.
Such is life. Also, nothing like Manaweva coins. Because
Yeah.
they are back, and now they change shape and pretend to be items. And this fact, even when that's not the case, forms a significant bit of every player's instinctive muscle memory of...
Oh, yeah.
Any 2 coins could be a mana weave, even when actually it couldn't.
Yeah, I could learn the floors on which they appear and they can do that by heart, and it would still never actually I could never actually be like, oh no, they don't appear on this floor. As soon as I see 2 items together past floor 15, I'm like, yep, I need this, and then I get scared. So very funny and very true actually. It's
Reven
just
found
in your blood.
an egg
Ooh.
on floor 15, and that could be some pretty good monsters. Specifically, that could be a Garuda, and that could completely change the flow of this game into go as fast as possible at all points. You are free, fly free, or it could be a volcano.
So we have on Reven's side as actually is fighting against a sword troll, and their sword actually make it so not only do they hit harder, but they also actually ignore the defense from your shield. And it's lucky because Reven is equipped with the only shield that actually still reduces damage, because it does ignore the defense of your shield, but not the fact that now you are considered a water character, so you still take less damage. That's the only shield that will actually reduce damage from a sword troll, so that was very good. He was only getting it for 14, where you would probably see somewhere around like 20 plus for sure, 22 or something at that point. But he still had to use a fireball.
I wonder if Chai was, or Reven was thinking about hatching that egg before trolls happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, actually. You want to do that as quickly as you can, but I think Reven is like me. You want to try and start doing that when you are in an elevator room, and only if you are safe in there, which can be never when the game decides it is. You'll want to align with the Miniva. Go.
Fireball. Some decent element spells, because one of the things this tournament is doing is randomizing the spell ball elements. So we've got at least 2 separate attack elements on the spells, and that's pretty great.
My friend, sadly, it's already a growed. You can't. There we go. Yeah, he figured it out. You're right, Deme, and that's very different because we used to very much like our water monsters, because water monsters with all the damaging spells, it's for fire damage. That covered your weakness to wind. But now that you can get spell balls of water, wind, and fire, your chances of having a fire only spell damaging spell balls in your inventory is much slimmer. And so a water monster is not a be-all end-all as much as it used to be. So yeah, we're seeing new meta develop and new monsters being liked and more monsters being disliked. And it's very fun to see evolve. I know you've been a shoutcaster for many a match, Deme, and I know you've kept an eye on that.
It's been interesting to see, particularly because this tournament does offer... Yule's not bad.
Not bad.
Chai has found an egg on floor 20, and that has some good promise, but oh man, is it low on heat? That is a cold egg, starting at 9.
Yeah,
but yeah, Reven is very happy with this. Reven has the evolved form of a Newell as his icon, so that's gotta be a good feeling. But it does look like he's choosing not to necessarily use that immediately.
Yeah, I'm
probably because it might be a little bit too late.
Yeah, he's level 11. That's not great, but that's not terrible either. I think he's gonna intend to not fight that much. He's got a decent inventory. He doesn't have the greatest spell balls, but he's got many, and some of which can actually get you out of a bad situation. Speaking of,
not a good one.
The worst part is not the room he's in right now, and the reason why I wouldn't do what he just did is this is a dead end, which means that every monster's at the other end of that corridor is gonna actually have potentially only that choice to get away from. So the problem with that is those two is fine, but he might end up finding and getting pincered, and he's gonna have nowhere to run away to. So now it's fine, but later on might be very scary.
Yep, meanwhile, Reven thinking about what to do with the picket situation. That all seems to have worked out, and Chai is luckily not punished.
Oh yeah. He's got to feel very, very good about that. And the pickup was successful as well, but even if it didn't, he could have get out of this. Floor 23, very nice. He must be very happy. He's got only one floor to deal with pickets themselves, so that could be scary on floor 25, but yeah, when you're alone, getting your inventory stolen is very scary. After that, you generally feel much better.
Yeah, because that is really the what Chai has, that and game knowledge. And admittedly, game knowledge never goes out of style.
Yeah, absolutely. That unicorn sleeps very well, very deeply, so that's good. Rip Elbow was on Reven's side. He used a little trick to force that item to be stolen, so he must feel very fine. And yeah, good experience from the Spire. He's probably going to level up from that. There we go. Oh, actually, almost a full level if we can look at the stars. Yeah, he just used the right thing.
There's that unicorn. Finally woke up from its nap. Assuming it's the same one. It could be an unrelated one. That one could still be dreaming.
Oh. So his egg is almost hatched, and he doesn't know, but it's fine because he's actually ahead and his egg's almost hatched. Oh, sadly, Kraken, very, very bad monster to have as a pet. And it's so frustrating because it's so hard as an enemy, but as a pet, sadly, it doesn't live up to the expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of... There was a particular famous Roman of whom it was said there was no better friend and no worse enemy. Kraken has the last part of that, but not the first part.
No. It's the worst friend and the worst enemy.
I mean, it's probably not the worst friend. There's some there's probably worse friends, but it's a friend that, at least in default form, doesn't do much for you. It doesn't have a mixture magic. It doesn't have a really useful trait. It has a trait.
Yeah, it's very meh, because its trait would be very good. So its trait is you take, I think it's 10% or 8% of the damage you... Oh, I don't remember, but it's a percentage of the damage you deal gets back to you. So if you hit for 100, and let's say it's 10%, I don't remember on the top of my head, you're gonna do 100 and take back 10. So you would say, oh, actually that's great, right? But it would be good if it would be before defense is calculated. But since it's after, if you take so much damage that the kickback is worth it, then you're probably dead. And if you take only one damage because you've made your Kraken extremely bulky, then you're just dealing one damage back. So, yeah.
Not great.
Not great. If it would be pre-defense, though, that would be so good.
Yeah, that could have some potential. But as it stands, the Kraken is just kind of there.
Yeah. And when you face off against them, first of all,
then they're nasty.
Yeah, and then you don't want to hit them too hard. If you play casually and you have like a monster that hits for 300 damage, yeah, that's cute, but
oof. That is a lot of damage in one hit over on Reven's side. But that's Azure Dreams for you. After a certain point, everything is stronger enough.
Oh, 1 in hate! Oh, okay, he's good.
Okay. That could have been worse.
Yeah, it's karma for sure. It's just life telling Chai, yeah, you want a match on 1-8, but this time I'm at least gonna show you some, some karma. The sword of Damocles is over your head. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Reven knows where the elevator is. All right, he's fine. We're gonna have to get to see an egg on 28, which cannot be something really good, to be honest, unless very lucky. And I wouldn't take the time to hatch it anyway. The chances it's decent is already low, and at level 13 on floor 28, even if it's a decent bit, what does it matter? I think I'm gonna have to rely on Commando until the end now. So it's probably going to be used as an egg bomb in a situation, which could be now.
Yeah. It will all depend on how well this can get out of it. This is certainly... that is a lot of damage that fire is taking.
Now, next turn? Yeah, there we go. He couldn't even actually de-aggro, I think. I think he's at the edge of the... No, he might be fine. No, he's not. Yeah, still aggroed. He's at the edge, though, but yeah, that's... Ooh, and he's got to go back in front of him is worse. Oof.
Not a great scenario.
Okay, yeah, and he's very fine, but yeah, this is starting to look very bad, and the worst part is there is a maximum number of monster that can be alive on the floor at a time. I think it's 13. I could be wrong, but it's something around about those lines. And it's very rare that there is 13 monsters when you get to the floor. So actually, the longer you stay on the floor, the worse it becomes generally. Or that should be the thought process you go through for that floor. Is I should get away as quickly as I can, because the longer I stay, the monster density is gonna be higher. And I don't know if you knew that, but I assume you did, Deme. But the monsters do not count toward that maximum of 13.
Nah, they generally don't.
they don't even care. You could be at 13 out of 13, and then there would be 18 monster drop from that monster den. Yeah, deal with it. 30 something. That's your life now.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be scary. Meanwhile, Chai using the Noah sled on the snowman, while Reven used a charge on the Mandara.
Yeah, but we got this. Go on.
I wonder if, in a moment of tournament jitters, I know Chai knows what he is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he is either, number one, saving the Noah sleds for bigger targets like that snowman, or two, falling into the trap of the Mandar. Res visuals.
Yeah, he misclicked actually and used a Dia-Rock on the Maneva, which was not a solution to his problem at that point. Got hit for quite a big deal, and that's actually a problem right now. Yeah, okay, there's a charge in his balls right now, but that could have been a problem for sure, because if that was empty, he was probably in a little bit of a pickle. Tuna fruit is always a way to get out of those kind of situation, but this inventory is getting very thin very quickly, and Reven is catching up very good. For a moment, they were both on 28 at the same time, and once Reven reached 28, he might reach 30 very quickly, because the elevator's in the room, well, twice in a row now, on Chai's side. So Reven's gonna
now we're seeing
a bonus as well.
Unicorn?
No,
please,
oh no!
Please, this is the nightmare scenario.
Oh my god, the worst egg bomb ever.
And blind, not ideal. Meanwhile, Chai is getting the one bit of story that we get in the tower of this game. Okay, that ended up going much better. That one bit of story goes something roughly to the tune of hey, I was there when your father died. Come fight me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Now the scary part is... Oh, okay, yeah. Just taking the Maneva on his side, moving faster. I was gonna say, I don't think you can take a hit there, buddy. But, yeah, Reven just moving up, using Holy Scroll. That's it, call it a day. I think I prefer Reven's inventory right now, and that might be very important, because, yeah, they're both on floor 31 now. Obviously, if they both die here, Chai still gets to win, because, like we said, ties are broken out by who gets there first, but, I mean, Reven is not looking to slow down at all. And that's a Maneva.
No. Oh, and I do agree that Reven has a slightly better inventory. Those holy bells. Hard to say when we don't know exactly how many spell charges.
See what I said, Wuga and Septic? Yeah, it's not a Maneva, and my brain, and Chai's brain as well, was like, absolutely sure it's a Maneva, but it can't. Yeah. It's just in my blood now. 2 shields in a doorway. Alright.
Okay, now we're seeing some heal usage here, burning some of the MP. Yeah, that works out.
Yeah, you can take a chance on a killer. They hit extremely hard. It's one of the rare monsters that's considered in-game to have a weapon, which gives 8 damage, which is more than a holy sword. Which is actually just as strong as your father's sword, a Seraphim Blade. So yeah, that's kind of strong. And also they have increased percentage chance to crit, which goes from, depending, it's a stats that changes, but let's say it's going from around about 4 to around about 25%. And
Reven takes the lead!
Oh, wow, by just a second.
Just a moment.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, killers can do a skill in which they just crit. So if that happens, none of these 2 guys are surviving a crit from a killer. Unless Ice Shield, but even then.
Even then, I think it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's just that strong.
This is some dangerous territory. Everything can kill you, it's just a matter of how.
Yeah, exactly. Reven decides to take on the aggro from the dragon. He's gonna use Dia Rock. No? Dia Wall? Yeah, Dia Rock, I think. And I haven't seen him use it as much as Chai did, so I wouldn't be surprised he still got at least another charge in it, but I might have missed when he used it.
He is adjusting his camera to get the time-slowed things out of the way much faster. And now Reven has a choice.
Yeah, I would pick up, but I'm crazy and out of discernment. There you go. Yeah, you can actually very well survive. I would have equipped Ice before, but still, they don't hit that hard tyrants like the Scorpion monsters.
They are relatively weak, on the scale of these things.
Yeah, they're only 12 out of 10 instead of like 15 out of 10. Yeah. And we have our first curling shot for the evening, 27 damage in the back of Chai's head. And he wants to be never in a straight line or a diagonal line with that glacier, but that might not be something he has control over. Yeah, he's actually going to take the Glacier Express. Let's just hope it doesn't bring him in a worse situation. That's a very decent curling shot.
Yeah. That's quite a distance.
Absolutely.
We'll have to count it later. For the books.
Now, Chai is looking if there was a room in that direction, but he considered that there's probably isn't, and that was a good choice. Here's the elevator, and yeah, that's another floor for Reven. 33? For Chai, sorry. But Reven is already on 33, so that's gonna be, that's a very tight race. I'm very surprised.
This is an intense race.
It is. Especially considering, like, early on, there was
a pretty sizable gap at the beginning.
Yeah. And they are on the same level as well, with almost the same experience. I could say Reven is way ahead in experience. Maybe not. And we have another curling shot. That one is going to hurt just a little bit too much. Chai cannot take another hit. So, yeah, he's going to have to get some free time to regenerate. Yeah, exit loop is a good idea here.
Not a lot of free time on these floors. At least not likely.
Chai is going for a Noah Sled. There is still a charge in it. Very good. He gets a much-needed experience. During this time, Reven is flying.
Absolutely. This is working. Also, this pace is crazy fast. This is just over a floor a minute.
Yeah.
The hypothetical Nicole, this is ridiculous speed.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think they're gonna use a resource scroll now.
Resource scroll. Reven just chucks it away. What does it mean?
Is coming his way. All right, manipulates it out of the room. So the big deal right now is the floor difference. But we heard about that there was some kind of an elevator chain. So as soon as Chai reached that elevator chain, that difference in floor might not be as big. But yeah, being blind on floor 37 is extremely scary. 62. We don't know from what. I haven't had a chance to check the color of the explosion when he was hit, but I would assume a dragon? Oh, golem. Oh, no, that was probably a dragon.
Oh, it's a trap room, I think.
Luckily, though, it's a Oli Bell room, so you could have stayed there to over, you know. But yeah, that was definitely scary. And now you can see Reven is just throwing caution to the window. There's like a gajillion thing he's been doing that you definitely never do. But when you're on 37 and not finding the exit, you start, and the match hasn't been called yet, you start getting scared, right? You start getting like, where's the other guy? What's going on? Where's the freaking elevator? And so you start doing things you would never do. And yeah, that can get you in a very bad situation. But he's got the inventory to deal with some of this, but not infinitely. He's gonna have to slow it down.
Luckily, there's not a lot of infinitely left. 39.
Yeah,
this is the trap we just saw, I think, on Reven's side.
Actually, I think it's another one.
Oh, a different blinder trap. That puts them in a tricky spot. Fingers crossed for you, Chai. Because double 40s would be just super cool.
It really would. But his inventory is so thin now. He's gonna have to have a mixture of luck and, you know... Yeah. Anything could one-shot it right now. Maybe not a glacier?
I really like Chai's approach using the poison trap to get a sense of where things are in relation to him.
Yeah.
It's not an indefinite solution, but it is a solution of a sort.
Okay, Reven's got one exit, but we can see that there's a monster further away. So he decides to not even go there. Let's sleep, okay.
Alrighty.
There you go. Punching a maximum on Chai's side.
Oh no! That could have gone very bad.
Oh yeah, and a breath would be the end of it all. You want to change to a high shield, my friend.
Absolutely. Holy Scroll be a good one. You have that.
Oh, and
now we have a clear.
40th floor on Reven's side in 41 minute 55. We have a match.
Alrighty. That is a great start to kick off this best of 3. We will let Chai finish if you would like to. It would be a shame not to see a double 40. And we do hope that happens. The restore scroll of disappointment.
Yeah, we'll give him a chance to finish. It might actually not take too much time. It might actually take a lot because these floors were not very nice with Reven. But yeah, and that's the other blinder trap. That's the one that Reven got later on. And I think he's in a better spot to walk it off, but you just never know if there's a monster coming in onto your left side. And he gets it for 73. Did he get a chance to see where the monster was coming from? He doesn't have much.
No, there's not a lot of options here.
Yeah, that's scary.
I also have seen the spoilers from sending the GG.
Oh.
And so know how this ends. It ends like that.
Ends. Yeah. So there was a golem egg on Reven's side that has been thrown onto Beldo. I'm sure in chat Septic is really happy about that. Gunboy was actually active during the match doing his part. And yeah. Golden boy. There you
Golden
go.
boy.
All right. GG for the first match. Reven takes the first, but that was a very, very nice effort from Chai. I am just excited to see match number 2 coming up. And yeah, these guys are just so fun to watch.
And that ended up being quite the matchup there. They're very intense and very, I would say, of a suitably mixed generosity. They both lost that effort early, and so it was a thing of raw skill. That is what we want to see. But what do you want to see for the next match?
Yes, absolutely. We want to see in chat what you want to see. The 2 first monsters are going to be randomized. The one replacing CUNY will have its element potentially randomized. Well, it's going to be randomized, but it could still be vanilla. And they're going to have their spell awoken. If it's not already is, and the one in the egg is going to be a randomized monster, but it's going to be a vanilla version of the monster. So normal element and normal spell situation if you have one or not. So we want to see something very interesting on each side. I want to know if what you guys want to see. But also, if there are new people in here in chat and you are not exactly sure how this works, I'll be very happy to field questions about regarding the things. We have already explained the rule, but it's a perfect time to get a little bit of a catch up if you are not sure how this works. But obviously, just joining into madness and the chaos is very fun. Azure Dream is chaos incarnate, and it's very nice to see what's going to happen this round because I assume it's going to be totally different.
Yeah. I do find these random toolkit tournaments slightly funny in that, like Azure Dreams, in being a roguelike, is also a pretty random game. It's a pretty RNG heavy game, and yet the community looked it in the eye and said, but what if we went more random?
Yeah, we're not a community of just clever people. Some bad decisions were made, but it's super fun. It's really, really nice. And the first instance of Random Toolkit was inspired to me. I made the first Random Toolkit tournament, and the inspiration came from a discussion with some very top players that are better than I am. And I was talking about, off elements, spells, and mixture magics and stuff like that. And I realized that most of my peers just didn't know. And for good reason, you absolutely need none of that to be a good runner at all. But when I was playing casually, I would test every potential what spells are dormant. I still have the list made on the thing that's called paper. If you're younger, maybe you've never heard of it, but I was writing stuff on paper.
You would be proud in that for the first Random Toolkit tournament, I made and still possess a little index card notebook of all of the monsters and what their mixture magic did, what elements I would most like that mixture magic to be, and of course the most important fact, can I lift them?
Yeah, exactly. So after that discussion, I realized, wow, most people never bothered checking into that stuff. And I understand them. The most OP stuff is not in there anyway. But I really wanted to test their skills, and I really wanted for that discussion to be possible in the future, right? So I decided to make Random Toolkit, where everything was on the table, spells would be unlocked, they would level up outside of their native element, which they generally don't do, and you would not have access to CUNY, which is a very good monster, to be honest. So almost every other monster would have
solids. It is the Mario of monsters with one special feature. Okay, two. One of which is a trait. It can't be brainwashed by the blooms that are on those water floors. And the second one, it has a lot of MP.
Yep, 100 is a huge amount of MP. It's generally the feature that will make it different from other CUNY light, like a Griffin. And obviously the fact that it can be picked up is going to put it on a higher standpoint than a Flame or a Wee Dog, which is pretty much CUNY light, but less MP and not pickable. So CUNY is generally very good, and the mixed magic it gets is the elemental sword family of mixed magic, and this is a very good family.
Oh, a Naples.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Interesting.
Chai
like them.
absolutely adore Naplises, and so do I. After many discussions with Chai, we agreed that defense is better than he thought it was at first, but it doesn't change anything. Naples is, I think, by definition, in this specific format, the greatest tank you can get. Realistically, a block would not be stronger unless very specific circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Namely, if you found, oh, this is a nice setup. Water Naples, Diamond Shield, that's going to give them a lot of early survivability. The Acid Rain, you could hope for a denser spell ball, but that's still a really nice spell ball. That is your get out of emergency, and the stealth is there.
Okay, question. Do you fuse... I don't think you fuse that stealth, because obviously it's going to turn your Naples into wind, and considering you have a Blizzard Sword, you don't want to do that. But later on, let's see you can fix that water element back on your Naples. Do you fuse just to become immune to rust?
Probably not.
I don't think so either. But, and Wogan chat says, sign me up. I hope this is a joke because, he was my brother, but after this day, wind element and rustproof, nah. Can't do that. But yeah, jokes aside, it's really, really not a great talent, but, and especially not with a Blizzard Sword. This is a great weapon. So swords, elemental swords are one of the strongest weapons in the game in terms of raw power, but they also increase your mixer magic by a percentage damage if they match the element of the spell you're casting. Neorize is an ice spell. The spell is called Blizzard Sword when you do a mixture magic. And the weapon is a ice elemental weapon. So the fact that it matches make it so it's much, much stronger. And this is the kind of thing that scales by percentage. And the curve is not going to be like straight. It's going to be, a exponential curve. And at some point it's going to be extremely powerful. And already one-shotting Troll at level 2. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice. Especially, that is why if you generally want, and when you have a wand, the wand you want is a wand that matches your monster's element, so you can get both the wand and the matching element bonus. But in a pinch, that Blizzard Sword will do them a lot of good, particularly on these early floors where the added attack power of, being a sword means a lot.
It really does. For probably not that many floors, but I would say around about 5 or 6 floors, the bonus from the sword is actually stronger than the bonus you'd get from a Stream 1 right now. I would still take a Stream 1 any day of the week because after that is just even more exponentially stronger on the Stream 1 sides. But early on, that +4 damage is actually very huge, and it helps with even though you only multiply the damage one time, the fact that you multiply a 5 instead of a 1 changes everything. And mixture magic of the flame, the elemental sword family is actually very weak early on. It takes like 4 or 5 levels behind it to start rocking. So, right now that sword is very, very good. But obviously, like you said, as soon as they can, Stream 1 would just be better.
With Single One, I mean, we could, I guess, technically speaking, the Naples is not super likely to be taken out by a bomb trap, but
there's no chance Naples die to a bomb trap because of its so high HP. That's probably one good reason to change. The other thing is I know Chai is the biggest defender in the community of not preferring an element. Obviously, he says the wind all the time just because it's in opposition to us saying it's the worst element ever. But I know Chai loves all 3 elements equally, and he will change all the time depending on its situation. He's got sets of floor in his head. Okay, from here to there, I want to be that element if I can. And then I want that one. So having that stealth in his back pocket, I can assure you that if things goes his way and he doesn't lose Annapolis early or something like that, he's gonna use it to change to win at some point. But right now, I'm sure he's very happy with that water Annapolis, and I would expect it to stay that way up until at least 12 or 13.
I think that checks out. I'm also going to say that I really like Water Annapolis's color scheme. I think it's very interesting. Annapolis always stands just on the edge of me not being sure if I think it looks like a creature or not.
I don't know what that is.
Armored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks made of metal in a way that, funnily enough, the color scheme changing this way from like a coppery sort of a gunmetal blue and gold thing does not make not the case. Never seen a wind Annapolis though.
I don't remember what color it is from the top of my head. But for some reason, when I was young, and obviously very young, so don't take too much into that, but I sort of thought that was Annapolises were like the Loch Ness monsters if it had legs instead of fins.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that design. I always thought of it as being a little bit like. I'm not sure what I thought of it as being a little bit like, except armor plated.
Yeah, I think that's the right reaction. Is I don't know what the hell that is.
But I always liked it, and I think one of my casual runs as a kid, I had Annapolis, and it was like one of the coolest things ever to me.
Yeah, it's a really strong
in part
monster.
Because it was one of the because at that time it was the highest fluorite monster from the furthest point I'd gotten to for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah, when you die to something many times because that's the roadblock that you just can't get past right now, you start to put them in very high esteem no matter what monster it was. And when you find an egg of that, you get so excited. And sadly, some of them do not live up to their expectation. I look at you, Kraken. But Annapolis is actually one that's very, very good. When you play casually, obviously, if you get a block, you can get a absolute wall that will take 1 damage from everything, including monsters, from a high elevation with elemental advantage. But, you know...
Stream Wand!
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of happiness here. I'm actually not super surprised Chai haven't changed yet. That sword is extremely good and is going to do the job for the longest of time. And I think you don't want to get stuck with that Stream Wand if he changes, because like I said, he already has a plan for changing element later on. I think so.
That does in fact make sense. These flowers are a bit less scary than they would have been in your standard setup or in your fire elemental setup.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, U-boats are still U-boats.
But the big difference here is as long as you share the pain, and I know Chai is somebody that's going to do that, you cannot kill that Annapolis. That's just not happening. There's nothing in the tower right now that can kill that thing unless it wails on it for a long time. And Chai's not gonna let that happen. So yeah, you can definitely take more risk right now, and that's very, very, very nice. Stream Wand isn't cursed, very nice. Chai is very happy, I can tell you that.
Who wouldn't be, frankly?
Yeah, he's actually doing that intentionally, the wind crystals. There is a protocol in the game that looks how many wind crystals you have in your inventory, and if you have less than 2, there is a chance that 1 item on your floor is replaced by a wind crystal. So by having 2 in your inventory, you prevent that protocol from being true, and so you get 1 extra item potentially per floor.
On the other hand, the flip side is that there's always extra misclick danger.
Oh yeah.
Behind that.
Oh, yeah.
Because this tournament is one shot and you're done.
Oh,
in terms
absolutely.
of tower climbs.
Yeah, and we
Yeah,
always
those-
talk. Go on.
Those bombs are going to be a bit more formidable than they would be in a standard setup. There's something of a glass cannon when you're dealing with them with a, say, a Hume. They're kind of a squishy wizard thing.
Mhm.
But not so much when you have the disadvantage. Also, wow, that's a lot of...
Oh yeah, that's a lot of dancing coming up. That's some line dancing coming in really soon. I hope he knows country music, but I'm pretty sure he does. But yeah, that's not something you want to let get into critical point. Deal with one of them, let the other two run away. That's very good. You don't want to get in a pincer stuck in between many U-boats.
And the Naplus can, in fact, take some hits.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right.
That could have been scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, letting a chance to that bloom to actually brainwash your pet. Again, Naplus is not the strongest physical fighter.
Does brainwashing continue when you change floors?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it lasts for a while.
Okay then. Was not sure if it was more like, wasn't sure if it was more like a Holy Scroll special effect, or where naturally monsters don't follow you.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like a regular status ailment, it is like a regular status ailment.
It is like a regular status ailment, yes. Alright, so floor 10, very nice place to be right now. For some reason, the experience count you get from a kill from floor 9 to 10 is just night and day. You probably get like around about 15 XP on your highest kill on floor 9, and it's like now 60 something for from most kills here. So it's really, really good experience point. That's a good place to catch up if you need to. I wouldn't say that they will stay there and grind, but they might not dodge as much battle. If they see something easy to kill, like a crossbow troll, especially with a Naplus, water Naplus, they probably will just, kill it instead of running away.
Yeah, that checks out, and this is a pretty good place to restore, refresh, rebuild inventory. A lot of medicinal herbs. Particularly on Chai's side, where it's nearly a solid wall of inventory of herbs. Chai setting up to become an apothecary if the whole monster taming thing doesn't work out.
He's gonna open his own hospital. Yeah, herbs is always debatable on how useful it can be. To be honest, I really think it's really good, but I rarely do take the time and the inventory space to pick them up. Last match, if you guys were here, you saw Reven use an anti-chaos herb to get out of a bad spot. Definitely super cool. So I cannot say that it was not the play. It definitely was. But yeah, it also restores some MPs to the situation.
So, generally speaking, unitask tools. Single task tools. Not just even single-use tools, like, say, a Holy Scroll will be, but that's not right.
Okay, the good part is he's the one who's being teleported. He knows where his Naplus is, and he could have stopped it from moving. He decided not to.
Which isn't ideal, but...
Yeah, I would have stopped it, but, I understand why you wouldn't want to do that as well. The other thing is, it's a fire floor mostly. Now, obviously, clowns are winds. But, point is, that Naplus is probably capable of fighting for a little bit. Not forever. You want to be there, but yeah, now it's gonna fight back. Oh, it's already 20 down. Okay, that's a win. Where is Naplus or the elevator?
One of the two things is what Reven would most like here. Ooh, that did not go the way Reven hoped.
Nope,
probably gonna have to give up on that spell ball.
Yeah, he was at the edge of the distance. You could have a chance to turn the enemy around, but it was too close. Clown is trying to level down. Is Naplus? At least he knows it's a clown, but sadly he knows that this is a rough battle. Yeah, it's not winning.
It's not going. Nope, it won, but like there we go. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. No, sorry. I said earlier that Naplus really has a hard time being killed, but you know there are circumstances that are just too much. You fought alone for quite a many battle, but yeah, sometimes it was just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna take a very long nap. That's fine. He's gonna take.
Yeah. He's just sleeping.
He's going to the farm. Oh. Alright, so Reven moving up. It was 2 floors behind, which is nothing too bad. Going back to Commando. Inventory, I would call it a very meh inventory. 2 acid rain is not gonna help you for long. Tuna fruit, yeah, I guess. That's pretty much it. So he's gonna have to find very nice stuff very early. Because, yeah, being alone and with such a bad inventory is just not something you can do for long. So let's just hope Reven gets to see some spell balls if he wants to continue to run as fast as he can. Oh,
Indeed.
Chai is sleeping.
Oh, that is the dream in that play.
Luckily, the confused Kraken won't ever move from there. But that is
Until
scary.
the confusion wears out.
Okay, right now he's safe, but that Naplus is gonna need some MP very soon.
Yeah, this is. There we go. Now we're in a bad spot.
It's a problem. Okay, good. He's awake. I mean, I say good as if it was really good, but yeah.
He's awake, therefore he can start working on solving problems as opposed to just experiencing them.
Yeah, your pet is gonna try and save you from any situation, but it's just gonna
unless there's doorway nonsense.
Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. When you are in a doorway, sometimes your monster is just gonna consider, well, he's not in a corridor and he's not in a room, so I'm not gonna help.
He's not in the corridor, and therefore I don't see anything in this corridor, and he's not in the room, therefore I don't see anything to threaten him in the room.
Yeah.
Therefore, there must not be a problem.
Okay. If you lose your Naplus, I guess finding a clown egg is definitely be something very nice. So
very good. And Gulf Wand.
Gulf
no, I
Wand
don't think they have that anymore. Yeah, no, but that's a shame.
It is. If you could have had a chance to fuse a sword spell into that clown, then yeah, the stream with the Gulf Wand would have been great.
That's right. It doesn't make a difference.
Nope.
Friends, the clown spell only cares about the clown spell level, which is quite high by nature.
Oh yeah, that spell is actually decent-ish if you have it like on a. I don't remember what's the other monster that's get it, but I think it's Garuda that gets it. But obviously the fact that it's on a clown is just so much stronger. Alright, he's taking a little bit of a chance here. What is he doing?
I think that was an accident.
I assume so. Okay, right. Yeah, there we go.
Because that was the AI setting that he switched the Naplus to probably a little bit too late to save it.
Yeah. Right, moving around. Now, obviously, that's not the best moment to have a clown up, but yeah, those Krakens are going to be decent XP for not a lot of work. And Reven needs that because level 7 is probably the lowest I'd be kind of comfortable on these floors. So yeah, level up here is really, really something.
Farewell.
But
no
you know,
sword.
Yeah, we see that Chai uses that time to get four floors ahead. Not that this is something that is unsurmountable, but obviously it's a good, decent lead. Blizzard Sword is still going to be very potent for the longest of time. He might be a little bit slower, but he's going to be consistent, whereas Reven is going to have super easy fight and terrible fight he doesn't want to pick. So, yeah.
That said, Reven does have the advantage of being able to deal with problems before they become problems.
Mm-hmm.
Also, oh hey, Czaj, throwing a diamond shield. Okay, that's a choice.
Yeah, at that point,
Boing.
I think it's the time you start stopping caring for the defense on your shield. It's just not that relevant anymore. It's not nothing, but it's just, you know, dwindling down quite fast. Oh, Olibel, yeah, definitely. So playing around with the pachinko machine, Konami was already
much, but
good at
some all
pachinko
pretty
machines.
alright things.
Yeah, they were already really good with pachinko machines way back then. But no Roche, yeah, sadly. That would have been great. It's been a while since I've seen one in a tournament match.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it's supposed to be rare, but we've seen some days where there were 2 Roche roots in the same day. That was crazy. I remember a match in one tower seed where there were 2 one-room floors in the same seed. That was madness. It's like a 1/4000 if I remember correctly, or one. It's a big number.
You see enough matches, and big numbers become less big.
You're right. You're right. Obviously, you knock at the door so many times. At some point, you're gonna get to see what you want. But oh, that egg, yeah. Oh, tuna fruit. Okay.
They have a truth.
7.
Glasses, so we'll be able to see what that is. A
Barong.
barong egg.
Very rare.
Oh, that's a fun thing.
I'm not sure.
We're having a party.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's good enough to warrant hatching, especially at 10%. But man, is it anything if it's not fun? It's just such a cool.
It's just so tempting.
It's Septic in chat saying, "Hatch!" But I got it.
Yeah, don't you want your own pocket slot machine?
Yeah, that follows you around. You don't even need to go to the place; it follows you around.
Mm-hmm.
It gave a lot of time for Reven to catch up, though, so only 1 floor difference right now. And the thing is, you see why it would not necessarily be the greatest idea to hatch an egg. Not saying you should not, or it would not result in something good, but just messing around on that specific floor did take a lot of time. You look at your timer. It was not a floor a minute, but it was very close, so that you lost last match if you're Chai. So you start to have to think, I might be behind, which he's not, but I'm sure in his head right now he's like, yeah, Reven is quite fast. That
might be a portable slot machine, but he's not playing with house money here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, 2 barongs at the same time. You don't see that every day.
Alright, playing pachinko as well. Exit loop, very good. You're quite happy about that. Lever fruit gives you a shield, probably doesn't care. You don't want. I would have kept that high shield. Antidote, Turns the troll around, and fire crystal. Okay, not necessarily. Oh, he still picks it up. All right.
Not the worst thing.
Pick up the sword troll. He's not very scared. Oh, I don't think that's what you wanted to do. Oh,
Ooh, that's really not the situation you wanted to be in.
Yeah, that clown is not gonna be funny anymore. Not for a little bit of a time right now.
What you gonna do, Reven?
Yeah, that's getting scary. Oh, he's gonna take all the damage. He's benching on. Oh wow, okay, but he still needs medicinal. All right.
Okay.
Take a hit. That's good. Ooh. He's alive.
Yes, like we really care about that picket. There's a trap there.
Yeah, at least he sees them. I was gonna say I hope he doesn't step on a trap, but I hadn't seen he's used a trap loop. And yeah, Olibel, get away from here. Get some time to recuperate, and yeah, that's actually a clever idea. Yep, reset, take your time, regenerate some HP. Very good. That's a very good use of Holy Bell.
Absolutely. I can think of few things more apt, more appropriate.
The fact that he
then
doesn't
when you have an entire room full of monsters.
Yeah. The fact that he doesn't one-shot Minerva should tell you, like, the story of this game. Reven is very low level right now, and that's really scary. Not that czaj is super high, especially considering he's like a few floors higher. But not like you should eat up Minervas with a clown. If only you were at least like a few levels higher. Now he's not very far from that specific one shot, but the fact that it still takes 2 hits is I'm sure he was himself a little bit surprised. Like, oh really? Okay, a second shot.
Sadly, it looks like we're not going to see that Bronze Age hat. Can't blame it. Also, the Wee Dog do the throwing the meat thing. You don't see that every day. It's a thing they can do, particularly when your monster's MP gets low enough that it becomes tempting. I would take meat. Yeah. But that's just my.
Yeah, to shed some light into the question in chat, what Septic Tank says is absolutely true. Only the Elemental Sword Mixer Magic family do take full potential from the
Blade. He'd Mixer Magic, at least parts of it, also uses the. I believe so. I think I have that in my notes about it. But the area of effect and the Wave Mixture Magic definitely don't.
Yeah. I don't think the other one does as well. I think what you're alluding to, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, is that the Thunderblade family, like the Blade family of spells, they do take into account the attack power on your weapon, but they won't get a bonus, percentage bonus from element matching.
Interesting. I wonder why that is.
I think it's specifically because it's considered because it's 2-time, like it's once and then the spells.
Right.
And I think the first hit is considered exactly like a normal attack, and the other one is considered exactly like a wave spell.
That would do it, yeah.
I think so.
Weird.
So your 1 will still affect those blade spell, but it's gonna add 1 damage. So, yeah. But the swords might help.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought there. Azure Dreams is such a weird little game.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, when people says, oh, this game stakes me too much by the end, I don't like it. If you don't like that, play Azure Dreams. No hand-holding here. You won't even know what the mechanics are, even if you go on the internet.
There's the tutorial floors that we conveniently skip past, where they explain some mechanics. Definitely not no mechanics are explained.
Oh, damn it, you're trying. I like it. You know that's not true. I mean, it's true.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. It's just a lot of mechanics are also not explained.
Yes, a few things. And that's one of the things I like being younger, is like exploring and discovering secrets, especially since, and you might not know that, but I was born before the internet, yeah, I know. And even though this game came out, internet was already a small thing. There was not a lot of information in the internet. And actually, when I made
the golden age of like playground game rumors.
Yeah.
And Azure Dreams has a couple.
Yes.
Well, it has a couple of new under the truck style rumors that I remember seeing when I looked up information about this game online, and I saw that instead of the handy resources we have developed for the game.
Yeah, the Gauche one, I think, that's being mentioned in chat right now, that you could marry Gauche, is probably the biggest one I saw everywhere.
The biggest one was Guy's Ghost, which I saw everywhere as well. Like,
really?
That on floor 39, sometimes you would see your father's ghost, and like, it is, of course, completely impossible, or at least was impossible at the time. Also, this is bad, and Chai is down on floor 28.
Oh my, a sleep trap. Chai goes down on 28, almost going for a septic special, but sleep instead. I mean, that was truly a napless run, right? He died from taking a nap.
Yeah, that he did.
And the worst part is...
by the nap, die by the nap.
Yeah, very often when you get it while asleep, you'll wake up. And so it just didn't happen as well. He was able to survive one hit, but the game decided, nah, you're still asleep. It's not because you get hit in the head while asleep that you know, it's fine. You're still asleep. Yeah, that was definitely a very bad way to go, but nothing is done. That sleep trap is also in Reven's tower, and Chai got there on floor 28 first. So if anything happens to Reven before he reaches floor 29, that's going to be Chai's run to win. Nothing is done yet. And also, and I don't think that's going to be a big deal, but still need to mention, the game ends no matter what at the top of the hour. So he's got 29 minutes to try and beat, well, 6 floors. I know it's not that much, but they can take a while, but it's unlikely that these will. Also, I've heard of to die to sleep, but underreported to sleep to die. To die perchance to dream, I guess. I guess so. That was all just a dreaming. Just a dreaming. Oh, that's a very sad way to go. Yeah, very sad for Chai, but like I said, match isn't done yet, even though Reven seems to be on a very nice run. And yeah, Fire Clown is gonna help a lot right now as well. That'll do a good bit of thing for one thing, both because of the specific floor, though still not enough to deal with that block. That is impressive how low level Reven is, because blocks with fire magic normally go down pretty fast. Yeah, exactly. They're tanky, but that's not the same thing as being, indestructible, yeah. I want to mention to X4F in chat that a tuna glitch in a monster den is called a rave party. It's really important like that, because monsters start dancing around you, and I just imagine some dance music. It's a rave. Absolutely. Eventually, the things start flashing. Yeah. Is he taking the hit? Yeah, I think so. Yep, there we go. Not bad. So and we will see it. But yeah, time is unlikely to be a factor otherwise. And now we're getting closer and closer to the big question. Yeah, absolutely. The target. So that floor is fine. The next one, we know that there is this sleep trap somewhere in it. That's probably in a path. That's the worst part, right? Because we tend to travel through rooms roughly in the same manner, which is straight line, right? From the door you get into the door you want to get out to. So, yeah, the only exceptions would be when there's an interesting object. Or which door you want to get into or out of. But if it's an interesting object, both players going to find it interesting and go that way as well. So we tend to go into the same kind of direction. And, leather shield. And obviously that means that when someone hits a trap, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, the other players hits it as well, and that's when it becomes scary. That's the floor. We will see. Can Reven get out of this floor alive? And if so, that will be the game, set, and match. Be a wall. Okay, nothing too crazy. Nothing good, actually. Moving about. Nothing. He's a frog. There's a different trap. He's a frog. Nothing. Wow, this floor is really empty. Okay, Napless. That Napless is water, important to know. So right now
that would be pretty threatening.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, alright. That's the elevator. And we have
game, set, and match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Reven takes match 2. That was a set. GG, yeah. Wow. Oh, wow, Reven. Actually 2-0 on Czaj. And I mean, Czaj is nobody to scoff at. He's a really, really good player. But that was obviously very tight. And if you told me before the match that actually Czaj would be ahead most of the time, I would have been surprised. Czaj is known to be practicing his speed quite a lot, and he's been very successful as we could see during these matches. But he's always been known as a slower, more methodical player. And I think that tag is like quickly, you know, drying down and becoming not as true as we thought it was at first. But yeah, honestly, it's been very quick, especially since Reven is more of a, you know, risky and quick run type of player. And yeah, looking at that floor, Reven's going to be happy to know he won, because this is looking like a very not fun room. And that killer is confused. Marvelous.
It looks like we'll be seeing a friendly third out of these two runners as well.
Very nice. Yeah, so friendly third, when we ask for a time slot on SpeedGaming, we will ask for 3 hours, 3 times the 1 hour limit. We very rarely go to the full 3 hours, but, you know, just to give you more speed game, we will sometimes, not always, play a friendly third if both our players are up for it. So that match doesn't count for anything. Right now, sadly, Czaj is out of the tournament. Reven moves on into in the loser bracket, and soon to be into the losers finals. I hope so, or I wish him anyway. So we're gonna get to see another match, and I want to see your prediction in chat. I want to see what monsters you guys wants to see. Do you want to see a specific monster replacing Cutie, a specific monsters replacing the egg, or will it actually even matter? Because, you know, lately people seems to like messing around during friendly third.
Yeah, doing glitched entry, going familiar with your list. I think it's very possible we see that from these runners. I think that is reasonably a thing that they might be inclined to do.
Yeah, especially
we will see.
Especially considering, like, the stakes are down now. Everybody is relaxing. Reven is relaxing because he's won. Czaj is relaxing because it doesn't matter anymore. He's out of the tournament. They're both really good friends. You know, the nerves are starting to leave them and get a little bit better. So if
it's like
ever
doing a glitched entry and commando.
Oh, is it a thing?
Setup. That is what I am seeing in the chat.
The nerves, I love it. So, glitch entry. There is a glitch in this game, or actually it's an out-of-bound glitch, where there's a space where the collisions is not exactly well organized, and it's a space where, you know, I would have never found it being a kid, or even later on. I saw that on the internet, and I was like, oh wow, that's so crazy. And I don't know who's found it, but wow, honestly, yeah. there was a lot of messing around in town for that person for sure. He found that little gap into the geometry of the game. Once you're outside, you can wiggle around into a specific position, and you're gonna get teleported behind the tower, and then you can just dash left, and you're gonna get to enter the tower, but skipping the discussion with Cutie in the beginning. Now, in any percent, that's actually super clever and important, because you're gonna skip tutorial floor. You don't have Cutie, well, there's no tutorial, right? And tutorial floor is long and arduous, and it's not fun. But skipping Cutie is also terrible, because Cutie is a valiant partner, and you're not gonna have it. So not having Cutie makes you much weaker in a game where you're already weak. So, you know, that's something you gotta decide if you want to do or not. Obviously, our strongest runner will always do it, because they're madmen's. But
but if you're starting out, you're probably better off Reven naming himself in honor of Czaj.
Oh.
No.
But in the randomizer or the Rock Me to the Top tournament, I should say, is we remove the tournament, the tutorial floor, all. We remove all of it. So without having a tutorial floor at all, you're not really gaining any time by doing glitch entry. But we still do it just because, I don't know, because just flexing, I guess? Just for fun?
Yeah, just flexing, just for fun. I recall in other forms of the tournament where the egg was always the Palumpa egg, I've seen at least a few friendly thirds be Palumpa percent. Because why not?
Oh yeah, Palumpa percent is so much fun. I mean, for the people watching, but it's also fun to play, but it's such a chore. But anyway, for this specific thing, we won't know if there is a Palumpa at all, so they can't actually say, hey, let's go Palumpa percent. But a glitch entry and commando, so it means that they're not going to get the monster on the grid.
I need to count them down. I was completely forgetting that was a thing that needed to happen.
Hey, we were having fun. That's normal.
Yeah.
So, glitch entry, not only are they not going to get the pet on the bridge, but they will actually get the egg in the first floor. But going commando on top of glitch entry means that you're not going to hatch that egg, nor are you going to hatch any egg you find moving further into that tower. Ko is always going to be alone. So, yeah, that's going to be very scary for both of them, but it's going to be a fun time. And it might not last long. Most of the time it doesn't, but very, just once in a lifetime, sometimes these runs are actually crazy and go high.
Okay. They have been counted down. We will see them off.
Yeah, generally when you see the one of the players go back in home and come back in, means that they're resetting their position. That generally means that the countdown, the delay is just getting fixed right now, and we should see them start just so. And yeah, going east, both of them.
Pretty agreed. There are a couple of ways to get into the tower using this glitch, but this is the setup I think you see most often, using the pita fruit to get weird. We see Reven going the other route.
Obviously a little bit longer, but you can't mess it up. Oh, and obviously just so that's probably the nerves. He's probably very excited about about winning his match. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I know that when I'm during a match and I know people are watching, this is always a little bit less beautiful. Let's call it that. And you feel bad because then the only thing you can think in your mind is just like, oh, I would have been faster if I went through the bridge, and then it gets worse.
Try playing around with the camera a little bit, making sure he wants it exactly. But yeah, I'd be interested in knowing what they're passing on, Wugga.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you care to poke your head into it, I don't think we would complain.
Right, so Steel Sword, Ice Shield, very good start, nothing to scoff at. Steel Sword is a very decent middle of the way sword, very nice. Oh, they're missing out on a Fire Mandara and a Balloon. Wow, okay, nothing too good anyway.
Yeah, this is fair, this is fine.
Yeah, Mandara as
There's
a
sort of a minor meme of the Steel Sword that if you find it, you win. But when they both have the Steel Sword, not everyone's a winner. That's how that works.
Yeah, let's start making some participation medals to give them. But yeah, absolutely, there was a meme in the community.
Participation medal. It's the Steel Sword. It's made of metal and it's participating.
Was that a play on words?
Yes.
Nice! Lady Deme playing with words. Gotta love it. But yeah, absolutely. Steel Sword was a meme for the longest of time in our community. One of our player really loved using Steel Sword over some weapon that I think would be just objectively better. But she loved using the Steel Sword, and when she would find one and use it, she won some very impressive matches with it. So it was a meme for the longest of time that a steel sword equals win. Obviously, don't read too much into that. That's not necessarily true. It's not a fantastic weapon. But early on, yeah, it's decent enough.
Yep. And you know, having fun doing things your way is one of the joys of Azure Dream.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Using that fire pretty early, but this is a valid room to use that in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the danger with a fire crystal is if it levels up, it soft locks the game. But right now, nothing can give it enough experience that it would, and it's already bugged. There you go. At least there's no soft lock going on, but it's gonna get stuck on that Palumpa, not dealing any damage forever now, until it disappears. Yeah, fire crystal is really not good.
Yeah.
I mean,
really annoying occasionally has gotten me killed.
Yeah, and I understand, like, who would want to hurt a Palumpa? They're so cute, but at the end of the day, it's still got one kill on a Palumpa. Which is so sad. Yeah, fire crystal, yeah, meh. That ice shield is paying dividend right very early now. It's very nice.
Yeah. Those flames are certainly the most threatening things on these early floors, and being able to just completely no-sell them is a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Flames, #1 cause of second floor deaths.
Absolutely. And the worst part is when you play vanilla and or normal random toolkit set, the fireball you get always is dealing 16 damage out of 20 it has. So it's the only monster on 1F that doesn't die one shot from that fireball. And it's probably like the only one you would want to use it on anyway. So we always say level 2 is crucial, but it's really, really true. Especially against the flame. But that ice shield, yep. Sled dealt 2 damage?
Very nice. You love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, ice shield is just huge. We see the wind crystal shenanigans again, yeah, as pointed out in chat by Septic Tank. We didn't talk too much about
things.
I agree.
We about explained it. Certainly there are... I like to mentally organize items into high priority, which are your multitaskers or your definite get you out of a situation items. Your, while I've got the space items, which, nice if I have the space, which are like your elemental seeds when you don't plan on doing a lot of switching, or I sometimes put troll weapons in this category until we're past the bow trolls, because I hate bow troll.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take an inventory slot not to deal with them. Probably put your strong unitaskers like say herbs in this category of things that if you have the space, if you're not carrying anything better, might as well. And then there's your, I really don't need more of these.
Hot takes. Dime.
Yeah?
Holy bells. I don't think I'm a big fan of holy bells.
I think that it's easy to overhype them, and it's easy to forget that they don't strictly necessarily protect you.
I realized that statistically, I die probably 80% plus in corridors, and when I die in a room, I generally die to a trap anyway, or like a dream putting me to sleep, and I can't do anything about it. I have died with so many holy bells on me because I died into a corridor, or a situation where I could not use it anyway. that even though I do understand that's a crazy good item, like especially when you go to an elevator and the next floor is just terrible, like the room you're in.
Right.
But other
It's a
than
strong item. I do think sometimes it gets a little bit overrated because it's not gonna save you in every situation.
No,
It does, in fact, technically speaking, not protect you, but when it protects you pretty well.
absolutely. Once it's online, it's definitely one of the greatest. Only distance magic or the attack of a bow troll can hit you inside the room, which is, very specific. But yeah, I don't know. I very rarely use
or the dangers of very small road.
or that. Yeah, because
Sometimes, if they can hit you while outside the room, they can hit you. Well, as I was saying, it technically does not actually protect you.
Yeah, no, exactly.
In the way, say, a Holy Scrolls thing of invincibility does.
Yes.
On the other hand, it will cover several monsters, usually.
Yeah.
Most items are situational, and that's one of the fun things about Azure Dreams is
Absolutely.
figuring out what situations you can be prepared for, which ones you want to be prepared for,
and it's getting more
how
and
you want to be
more.
Prepared for that.
Yeah, we're getting more and more information, but I mean, a lot of the item usage has been like, well, I would say that, and obviously tomorrow somebody's gonna make me be wrong, but I think we're getting a good
Not
hang
tomorrow,
on
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Our next match is Saturday.
Ooh. But I think we're getting a pretty good hang on like how to use every item and why we should keep some. But one of the most exciting moments in the community to me was when we were, some items are just obviously too good, like a police scroll, right? It's always very, very good. You're always happy to see that, right? But some items are like, not that great. And it was crazy that for a time, everyone was trying to take one of those garbage items and turn it into, like, obviously a very situational niche thingy, but trying to, because you don't choose your inventory in Azure Dream. It's not like an RPG where you can buy your stuff or the tower, you know what you're gonna get, right? So the more use you can find for every item, when that bad seed happens and you only get garbage items, if you can squeeze just that one drop of goodness from a bad item, it might actually give you a win. And so I like when everyone was like, and I know some people still are, trying to like, okay, what can I do with that garbage item? That's so nice.
It's a case of necessity is the mother of invention, and that's very fun. And also, the simple fact that Azure Dreams can sometimes punish you for doing everything right.
Yes.
And reward you for doing everything wrong.
I 100% agree.
And so, right and wrong are a little bit soft, a little bit wibbly.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I've never heard it as well described as this. This game is, play your play style and things are gonna happen. You can't control, like, if that was the right plan or the bad plan before it happens.
Right, there are, I would say, like, smarter versus not smarter, but
Sure.
What does that really mean?
Yeah, exactly.
In here, I would have to rate smartness in anything where, like, chance plays a big role, or results are not necessarily guaranteed based on past performance. I would probably say that smarter is then making the decisions most likely to bring you success given the information you have available.
Absolutely. Going back to the match, we saw a Griffin being a sniper with two pillars, one on each side, but Ice Shield has been really, really great for them. We saw also Chai getting rid of his two wind crystals, I guess at some point, it's just not worth it, and I think I agree. But we also see 2 players on floor 13, Chai just getting there. They're at level 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's wild. There's
still
being underleveled, and this. And that's not
you mean
ideal.
Oh, lucky Reven moving around while confused and still getting out of the room for the Griffin to not attack him. Very, very lucky. Let's go, Reven.
Nicely done.
Oh, that ice shield is not gonna help. Chai, that Garuda will hit very, very hard. Luckily, it gave actually the lead to Chai right now, but you consider head-to-head. They're very close to one another. Oh, warp trap, okay. But they're on the same floor looking for the elevator.
Commando could be a pretty fun little tool.
Yeah, Reven finds the elevator first, but sadly, Datniel is not nice and just want to say, no, you're not. You shall not pass. But the spell ball here dealing a very good amount of damage.
It would have been nice if that Kraken had gone the other way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's what he hoped for, but that experience at least is good. Doesn't mean that he wanted to spend a charge here, but if you have to at least, level up, that's good, move forward.
Yeah, there are something, and an only is a pretty nice thing. It is one monster that you don't have to think about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What I like to see on Chai's side is he's really taking his time with monster manipulation. He might be a floor behind, but I haven't seen him use as much spell charges as Reven did. Reven has been very, gunslinger with his spell balls right now. That's very nice. He's got some good experience from it and everything. But especially when you play Commando, you want to use those as late as you can. And right now he's been using at least like 3 charges in 2 floors or something like that. Can't keep that ratio going.
Yeah, they're eventually gonna end up, and you want to be careful about when you think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and as soon as we said that Chai was in the lead, now Reven is. Now 2 floors difference, but this is a match.
Yeah, this is a pretty nice. It's an intense one.
Oh no. No!
That's sure. This is a death by 1,000 paper cuts worm if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and that Maneva is not gonna help either. Even if it turns into an item, that's not gonna be good. Yeah, he's gonna use a charge or something, because he's gonna lose inventory anyway at the end of the day. He could be lucky, but I don't know. Take the experience. They are worth a giant amount of experience. Okay, at least he can get to the spell balls. The first one, but now if he enters the room, yeah. Okay, he decides to go around
yeah,
and about.
The troll is at least non-threatening and very sleepy.
Yeah, one thing that most people do not know, I guess, is that, yeah, he tried to force, yeah. Oh, Chai losing a D-curse, that's not too bad.
Oh, losing Yang Bomb.
So, if you hit a monster then on that specific floor, there might be trolls in it. And the crazy part about that is you could get any kind of trolls. You could get sword, hammer, or crossbow trolls. And the really weird part about that is actually you could see hammer trolls with the stats of a sword troll.
Wild. I think this is a thing I've encountered before, but it's still such a curious situation.
Oh yeah. When I died to 1,000 pepper cut, actually the final hit I took was from a hammer troll that was actually a sword troll with a hammer.
I wonder what caused that to happen. I mean, like, what was that an intentional issue, or was that an unintentional issue? Like,
I would assume unintentional.
Did someone say, hey, we should have a chance of having some club trolls of trolls, or like, you know what I mean. How does the troll generation work between the two different setups? Why are there two different setups? Is one of them an accident?
I think it's an accident because you can also get club trolls with club troll stats. You can have all three normal type of trolls like crossbow, hammer, and sword, but for some reason you can get hammer trolls with the stats of a sword troll as well. So I feel like it's generating a sword troll, but it's not giving it the right weapon, and it defaults to the basic weapon, which is a hammer. I could be wrong, but
could be the case. It could be generating them separately, whereas the floor itself generates them like from a list.
And Reven takes the lead on floor 21 again. And the elevator's in the room, which is also going to be true for Chai as well. But that's definitely like starting to become a little bit dangerous. We are in Viper Town, and the Vipers are very dangerous. They got a lot of HP. Luckily, I think they have, Noah Sled and Noah Breath is definitely going to be a huge deal against those Vipers if ever they come, because right now, Reven's at least seems quite lucky on his Viper count. And the other danger is definitely the range spells from blocks and unicorns, which is paralyzed and blind, so you really don't want to get, your senses... one of them losing your sight and the other one just losing motricity, I guess. But yeah. And we say that they, in chat, Wuga says that they're both extremely fast and they are under a floor a minute. This is something really, really impressive. Like, we talk about how going commando makes you faster, but it's only ever if you can keep the pace. Sometimes being commando will put you in a situation where it'll take like a lifetime to get out of. And even though they had some bad spot, they got out of them actually very decently fast. And faster than a floor a minute right now for both of them is quite a match. So 23 on Reven's side, actually very, very nice. Some items to refresh his inventory. Through glasses, very nice to find. All of his spell balls are identified now. He knows exactly what he's playing with. And that inventory is very decent.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. That's some pretty comfortable options. Since a couple of one-shot options, a couple of longer-lasting ones, and I think you want a little bit of a mix of both.
Yeah, I don't know why he's keeping Dio Mirror. Why they're both keeping Dio Mirror is not exactly a good spell, but everything else is actually very decent, to be honest. La Blind and Noah Sled again. Wow, that's a very nice, very nice inventory now. Yep, La Blind is decent as well. It's a confusion spell balls, even though it says blind in its fire elemental form. It's a confusion spell. Very good, very good. Paralysis.
Oh no,
special? No, we good.
Nope. Looks like we're getting out of there.
Yeah, and Septic says in chat that we might actually see a 40, and the craziness is not necessarily going to 40 in Commando, which is actually very impressive, don't get me wrong, but that pace, and if they ever reach a very high floor, I mean, it's already impressive, to be honest. It's not something you see often. A lot of people in the tournament has been playing around and doing some glitch entry, myself included. It very rarely got past floor, 15. So that's a run.
That's a sad loss. With any luck, he might be able to find it again. Oh, that's just me.
Ouch. Goes for the pickup.
That's a room you don't want to necessarily be going through. Because it's a party, and everybody's invited.
It's a rave! Oh, Septic special, but this time, D-Monster will actually reach out to him, hit him once, hit him twice! Chai is down! Floor 23, Reven's already on 25. That is game set, and match. Reven wins all 3 matches.
Alrighty.
That was a good effort. That was a good effort. That was such a good match.
It really was. It is a shame how that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one that Reven actually hit as well. And he just was lucky that no monster came out to him. That the one where we call maybe that's a septic special. But obviously, Chai doesn't just go to look like a septic special when he calls out a friend. He does so for real. And yeah, septic special all the way through. Poor Chai, 2 times in a row getting slammed by traps and going down. So we will, yeah, that's obviously the end of the match, but that's not the end of our showcase. We might actually get to see some interviews if both runners are interested.
See if that is a thing that they are up for after this crazy set of races.
I'll send them the links.
There we go.
All right. Oh, and already we're joined by both runners. GG, guys! What a showcase! That was a set of match.
I hope it was. The first one I felt went pretty well. The second one was, I really didn't want to resort to hatching clown, but going against Chai, I kind of figured that I might have a little bit of leeway, and I needed that safety.
Oh, you absolutely didn't have that leeway at all. He was ahead of you all the time, or almost all the time, in all 3 runs. That third one was a little bit closer. Actually, they were all kind of close at some point. There was a lot of I-5 moments, but to be honest, in terms of percentages, Chai was ahead most of the time.
Oh, okay. Just falling behind in the 30s, huh?
Yeah, sadly, well, match 2 and 3 were really unlucky. Care to share a little bit, Chai?
Oh yeah, traps. Like I don't really care that much for the game 3 because of course it was for fun, and there like we were going without familiars, so that's completely unknown territory to me. We had really good inventory. I presume Reven, you had similar. So yeah, we could have probably gone there the distance. But match number 2, I felt like it was going actually quite bad in terms of time. I thought that Reven would be ahead. But yeah, this death.
I think when you died to the sleep trap, you were like 6 or 7 floors ahead.
Yeah, because like to me the worst point of that game number 2 was, I think it was floor 12 or 13 when I was pincered by a volcano and 2 krakens, and there was also a dream incoming. So that was something that like made me spend quite much time. Then I also had a situation where I let my water Naplas, take care of Picket. That was like huge loss of time. And I was thinking, okay, I usually was trying to be around like 1 minute a floor, maybe like 1 minute behind this kind of pace. And I was even more, and I was thinking, okay, Reven knows how to play with sword mixture magic, and I don't know what kind of clown you're talking about. I never found a clown. But yeah, in the end, I died to a sleep trap. I was running away from Manoiva on floor, I think it was 28. Because I spawned in the room with Manoiva, and I was like, okay, I can lose it. Just like I just need to get to some exit, that will be fine. But then I went to sleep. My Naplas had like 100 HP. It was not enough for the Manoiva on 28 floors. And then after first hit, I didn't wake up. Second hit, and I was done. So that's how game number 2 went.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Care to talk about that Naplas, Reven?
Yeah. You know how, Chai, you like to say that Naplases come with warp traps? Well,
they do. They absolutely do.
Yeah, I think it was floor 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah.
I hit a warp trap.
Because it died to a clown, so 10.
Yeah, it had to be 10. I let it free roam because I was so far away from where I had left it. that I was hoping that I would either find the elevator quickly or it would find its way back to me. It ended up getting into a couple fights, but because it's Annapolis and it has like 200 HP at level 4, it did actually win a couple of the fights, and it ended up running into apparently 2 clowns.
Yeah.
It got down to
And
like
that is
it got down to like
unfortunate.
5 or 6 HP. It actually, I think we got up a level at that time, and then I took one more step and it died because I realized that it was actually like on the other side of the room that I just left.
Mhm.
And I turned around real quick. It killed the clown. I thought it actually died. It killed the clown. I took one more step and then it died. I'm like, well, guess I'm 180 back to where I was heading from. And then I think on floor 11 or 12, I found an egg, and I had been carrying truth glasses around for a while, and saw it was a clown, and I'm like, guy's had tons and tons of practice with kids, dragons, and clowns over the past like week and a half, so I'm gonna take a time loss here, and I kind of assumed that we were at least even or close to it, so I figured I could spare the minute to hatch the egg, and it was actually fairly high percentage. It was like 34% or something.
Yeah. You weren't that far behind at that point, but after the hatching, I think you were like 3 or 4 floor behind, which was not terrible.
No,
But still
yeah.
behind, yeah. Because at some
And
point we saw Chai got a barong egg, and we were debating like, will he hatch it? And we figured that he wouldn't. But even more so, like he doesn't know, but he's ahead. If he takes the time to hatch that egg, which was like 10%, Reven is gonna catch up, and that's definitely something you shouldn't be doing. Especially since you've both found barong in the wild. So if you really wanted to gamble, you could.
Right.
Oh, I wouldn't hatch that barong, no matter
Yeah.
what. Like I would have to be in a really, really, really bad shape, like no resources at all, no familiar to hatch a barong at, I think it was floor 16 or 17, whatever. So yeah, it was way too late to do that.
Mm.
Yeah, but game 2 was very interesting.
so I am a bit surprised that I was behind most of the time. Chai, you've really sped up, man. GG's. That practice has been putting in work.
Yeah, and look where it got me.
We did talk about that. I did touch
Much
about
of
the
this
fact
was
that we've go on.
was unavoidable, frankly.
Yeah, like,
Sometimes the tower just says no.
exactly.
Yeah.
What can you do about the traps? Although I think one time that was like completely on me. I used that trap loop, and then I still did step on a frog trap. So of course this one didn't actually, like, for this one I didn't
Oh,
have to pay any price.
Yeah, I
can
think
we
that go on.
can we talk about frog traps for a second here? Because
Oh yeah.
in this, I think it was the second seed because I had the clown. I was on like 27, 28, something like that. I hit a frog trap and a snowman walked into the room with me, and my clown didn't immediately aggro to it and die. I was fully expecting my clown to be gone at that point, and it just
Mm.
didn't. I have no idea what was up with that. Chai, explain. Why didn't my clown suicide?
Because reasons.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that matches.
But tell me, Reven, what happened in game 1? Because from what I heard, you were also going without Ifrit.
I lost I forget what I lost it to. Oh, I think it was a balloon or something on floor 5. I believe, heading towards the elevator to go to 6, and I didn't command it right. I should have walked in its space so it moved first, but I
Yeah.
commanded it to move, and I threw a sword, I think, and the clown or the balloon killed it. And from that point, I didn't find any like super early eggs. I did end up hatching a Newell egg that I found eventually. I didn't use it. Well, no, I can't say that. I did pull it
Oh,
out
wonderful.
and let it heal me once on
Yeah.
like 30 something, but that was it. And I did find an egg on 20, which I was very tempted to hatch because if I remember correctly, 20 is the last floor you can get Garuda eggs on.
Yeah.
but I had already hatched the Newell egg, and I'm like, and I just I couldn't find the opportunity to hatch it on the next couple floors, and by the time I had the opportunity, you know, if it was a Garuda, I had already lost. At least that's how I felt
Yeah, I
in my
might as
head.
well run.
Yeah, so I felt like I might as well just hope that it's not a Garuda, and I eventually did find a Truth Glass on like mid to high 30s and found out it was a Kraken.
Yeah,
So
tell
I
me
wasn't
about it.
too, yeah, I wasn't too upset about it at that point.
I never found that Newell egg. I only found that Kraken egg, and like you said, it was floor 20. I was like, okay, if it's floor 20, I know that Reven will hatch it. I'm going Commando. If Reven is still going with Ifrit, I probably would be a little bit ahead. The inventory wasn't dead, but it wasn't super amazing, but it was sort of okay. And I was like, around this 1 minute a floor, I was okay, I'll hatch it. But like you said, I think I hatched it on throughout 3 or 4 floors because there was always something interrupting. And when I saw that Kraken, I was like so disappointed. I was really hoping for a Garuda. I was thinking, okay, I'll get the Garuda. Reven probably is behind, so with this one, there is a chance. But nope, not this time. And in the end, if you're ever rewatching it, the floor that I died on, 37, I think it was funny floor. I spawned into the room with maximum, and I was trying to walk away, and I stepped on a blind trap. I didn't see anything. I didn't really have anything to like kill it in one go. I tried to remember what I saw before I got blinded, so I poisoned that maximum, and I tried to like step away. You know, there has to be like 10 or 12 moves before that maximum is able to be killed in one hit. So I was blindly walking for like 12 steps, sort of remembering. But in the end, that one I was able to kill. But then on the same floor, I hit another blind trap, and when I was walking around, I just found a dragon that killed me. That was fun. But I guess like you were already at that time on floor.
That was just a thing.
I don't remember what floor it was, but I had seen a golem coming towards me. I hit a blind trap, and I was trying to calculate how many steps I had, or it was away from me, and I was way, way off. He just walked up and hit me for like 68 damage from high ground, of course. I'm like, oh, well, that pocket holy bell is great right now. And I ended up doing something similar with I tried to put a dragon to sleep in a hallway and walk past it, and it woke up on my first step, and I was under the assumption it wasn't gonna wake up, so I took another step and it punched me for, again, like almost 70 damage. So there was quite a few unnecessary mishaps, but it worked out.
It really did.
Of course.
You really want to rewatch at least match 1, but I think you want to rewatch the whole set of 3. Both of you. It was really, really fun, and I say that Chai was mostly ahead, and that's true. But there was a lot of like changing the lead as well once in a while. That was very nice to see too. I'll link our Discord in chat if you guys want to see more. Want to know when it happens, if you want to learn, if you just want to be there and have fun with us, chat. That's where to go. You can absolutely join us. We'd be more than happy to send you where and tell you and help you with whatever you want. More so, thank you very much to Chai and Reven. You guys are great. Thank you for organizing
Be sure to give them a follow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for organizing the tournament. This is a blast so far. I can't wait to see the end of it.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we can give back to the community. You guys have been great, and it's also fun playing in a tournament, so I can't complain either way. Thank you guys for filling in commentary tonight. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lady May, for sharing the spotlight with me. That was fun.
Yeah, it certainly was. As in, thank you to the folks at SpeedGaming, making it particularly for rescuing us from the weird cropping situation that ended up happening. That was a fast response to that, helping when we finally got around to admitting that we couldn't do it.
Absolutely. And a final thank you to chat. You guys are wonderful. and awesome, and absolutely, you are the reason why we do these matches. It's so much more fun sharing our highs and our tough times together with you because you react to everything, and this is definitely like a good reason just to do those tournaments. Thank you so very much, chat, for being awesome, as always.